Hello guys, Michael here. And we're going to a new video on the channel, this time of the manga Jujutsu Kaisen, and I know what you're thinking. I had said I planned to review chapter 200, but my computer was in maintenance. I was very unlucky. Anyway, let's go to the review only of chapter 202. And at the beginning, why don't we talk about the Jump cover, since Jujutsu was the cover of the magazine this week, and for me it is the second best Jujutsu Kaisen to date, and among my favorite weekly Shonen Jump covers of Jujutsu are the Jump cover of Jujutsu. Number 1 for me is this year's 2022 cover 2, which has Okatsu, Rika, and Itadori. Second place goes to cover number 48 with Yuji and Sukuna overlaid from that chapter 202, while third is cover 26 from 2021 with Fushiguro, Itadori, and Okatsu and the menacing eyes of Kenjaku. Fourth place goes to cover 52 of 2020, starring Mahito and Itadori, the former being my favorite Jujutsu character. And apropos, I take it that Kenjula uses Mahito to battle, since he was sucked in by Geto Sugiuru's technique in Shibuya to perform the Culling game. We haven't seen him anymore, even though he didn't die. That's something I like and hope for a lot. And the fifth and final spot goes to the cover of issue 43 of 2020, with Itadori and Sukuna this time side by side. In total, so far, there have been 12 issues that Jujutsu has had on the cover. What are your favorites? Leave a comment. On the first page, we started with the conversation between Yuki Tsukumo and Tengen-sama about star plasma receptacles, Ammonite Rico, which we will see now more for the first and the second season of Jujutsu. It even fits a whole topic that I want to address on the channel, which is 2D animation. And about this chaos that has been happening with Jujutsu sorcerers, it seems that it was really inevitable, since there was no guarantee that Tengen even evolved, he could lose control. Next, Tsukumo becomes furious at Tengen for too calmly accepting the non-fusion between Ammonite and Tengen. And we learn that Tengen, if we're going to talk about gender, would be a woman, since she called Tengen an old geezer. Then they start a conversation about hearing the receptacles, pretty weird, and Tsukumo seems to be able to hear them too, and she reveals that it's an old star plasma vessel. And it's really cool. Glad we finally have information about her, but the conversation is interrupted by our expected invader, Kenjaku Chiya in the Star Tomb, to subject Tengen to Geto's cursed technique and control Tengen as he will become more cursed than human. I want to call attention to the time and day of Kenjaku's arrival, which is midnight on November 16th, a few days before the American army invaded Japan to kidnap the Culling game players, who became Jujutsu sorcerers. But Choso interrupts him, and we go to fight Destin with the evilest sorcerer in history. He is none better than Choso for that, he who was so harmed by him. It's not for nothing that Choso wants to kill Kenjaku. It was fun to see Choso call Tengen a thumb. Then Kenjaku reveals that the Culling game has already fulfilled its purpose, and that everything will end if he gets Tengen as a curse. So let's explain what he wants to accomplish. First, the Culling game is a game behind it where everyone enters a colony, where they are randomly played by the barrier location. Next, we have everyone using cursed energy to survive, and with that, its flow is circulating throughout it. And finally, we have the 807 military that will invade the barrier and fight the Jujutsu sorcerers, and that's where the fuck up. Because if curses are defeated without being cursed energy, end up creating curses like Naoya recently. And now what we see in silhouette on page 18 is a super curse. As all cursed energy concentrated will create a curse never seen before. And by the way, someone more resembles Eren in the final Titan form, don't you think? It's just a resemblance, but I like her a lot. So once Tengen is in control of Kenjaku, this super curse will be in his clutches. In the epilogue of the chapter, we see Kenjaku, how can I put it? Mock at himself and the result of his ambition, perhaps? Comparing everything I just explained. Or it could be the usual shounen joke, it just wasn't funny this time. Anyway, Choso prepares to cast the piercing blood and go up, speculating a little about the result, although it's obvious, The reason for the possible defeat of Choso is that they both have long-range attack techniques, but Kenjaku have stock a lot of curses, although I just remember that Choso, like a painting of death, can convert cursed energy into blood, can make consecutive attacks just like Kenjaku may be fighting on the same level, but I don't have much more to say. Tell me what y'all, do you think Choso will lose or will it be Kenjaku? I hope Tsukumo helps him, I like him a lot and the relationship with Yuji, I didn't want him to die. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next video.